And then Cambridge away. Gary, still gave the players the day off yesterday. Is it sometimes better to give them a chance to stew in it, and you also yourself a sort of a chance to sort of think, right, where do we go on Thursday in terms of what you say to them?
Yeah, I think there comes a time when you need to change a few things. You know, you need to do something different. And I mean, what we did differently was that instead of having our review the following day, which we would have had, I'd done it in the dressing room. And you two were well gone and in bed by the time we left the ground, because we watched the DVD of the game, certainly a big part of it, and had a discussion in the dressing room. And we left the ground, I don't know, 11:30, something like that. Apologies to all girlfriends and family that might have been waiting outside. So we done our review straight after. I didn't want them going away and start talking to other people. We needed to work out why there was a lack of energy, lack of quality, a lack of everything we do, a lack of our DNA. That was another team out there, in my eyes. So I was really disappointed with that, and I said so on the day, and we apologised on the day. And then you have to do your Clouseau bit and find out what it was, you know, that made us so weak and non-competitive. And we got a great group of lads in, as much as that they get the same feeling that we all get. You know, disappointment in the board, disappointment in the supporters, disappointment with the managers, and the boys get really disappointed as well in their own game. Just felt that the game went on and on and on, and they didn't seem to have an answer on the day, and so that was disappointing. But it was a lack of our normal energy and intent. So we had that chat straight after the game. We talked about the preparation, we talked about our tactics, we talked about our team, and is there any problems, you know, because it might be something that we don't know about. And so after it all, we thought, well, maybe it was just one of them games. You're all gutted, let's not be this gutted again. And that's why we didn't come in the following day, because we were still working at 11:30 at night.
And how easy is it to keep everyone on an even keel, because you don't get too carried away after a win, so presumably by the same dint you don't get too carried away after a defeat?
Well, no, it depends on the nature of the defeat. Sometimes you can be unlucky. The problem is we can't afford to be unlucky now, because we've drawn too many games that we've been in, and we'd have only needed to turn a couple of them around to be in a much healthier position. So it is a thin line between that success and failure, but the nature of the defeat means that you have to treat this defeat. Funny enough, we showed signs of it, I think, against Stevenage at home, against Hartlepool away, against Yeovil away, where we didn't have the energy that's required for us to play our game, and those. So we're just having a look at them to see, you know, what it might be, and hopefully we can all put it right. I've got a responsibility, the players have got a responsibility to turn it around for our club.
Obviously, personnel's the easiest thing you can change, and you're going to be forced into some changes with Harry Pell being suspended and the skipper's available again. So does that just sort of give a different energy to it anyway?
Yeah, it does. And that's what you have to think about. Do you change 5 or 6 of the boys and give the others an opportunity? Then you've got to know whether you think they're ready. You know, some people have only just come back, had quiet games yesterday, and you've got to think, well, are they fit enough? Stoz, Dan Holman, you know, I thought they were. Certainly Holman, that was his 3rd game in a week, and I thought it showed. He didn't look as sharp as he can, and so we had to take them off, you know, towards the end of the game. And yet, you know, one's your vice captain and one was your top goal scorer last year. So it's at these times it makes it a little bit more difficult to select a team than if you're winning. or if the last team played very, very well. So we've got some juggling to do, and I can't tell you what's in my head right now, although I've been thinking about it all night on Tuesday, all day on Wednesday, and right up till now.
Is it one of these weeks where it doesn't matter about who you're playing, it just happens to be Cambridge, but it's just completely about Cheltenham Town?
Yeah, I think you sometimes have to look at it a bit like that, but you can come unstuck like that as well. Because it's not only turning up with energy, it's turning up with a bit of quality, turning up with a game plan, individuals bringing out that game plan as well as them being potent and showing intent and that relentlessness that we, when we're doing well, we show. So there's a lot of formula that goes into it. So it's not just a matter of saying about us. We've got to look at us, because until we get us right, but then before we play Cambridge, we've still got to let them know that, you know, these are in a good bit of form. They're working hard for each other. They're this, they're that. They got this. You know, certain players that are dangerous. They got positives and negatives, and you still got to do that because you still got to prepare right anyway.
How's James Dayton?
He's okay. He's training. He's training normally, starting today, along with Alex Cooper. So they're both back in the fray now, and we'll see how they train over the next couple of days.
Everyone else okay?
Yeah, everyone that you know of. Obviously, Hawley's still long term, Pagey, that sort of thing. A few little knocks that we've got to be careful of. You know, Gav's having a look at now. So yeah, but no, I think they're all training.
Thank you. Good luck.
No problem.
How long do you think Easter will be?
Not too long, I don't think. I think maybe another month or something, maybe round about just after Christmas, maybe early January. I don't exactly know the dates, but he's coming along nicely. It was quite a big old operation on his Achilles, so you know, obviously he's not going to be able to do anything till he's right.
Not as serious as the last one.
No. Well, the last one I think was misdiagnosed on an occasion, and then he had something done. Then he had to wait 6 weeks, and it didn't happen. Then so you know, this one they knew exactly what it was because of the last situation, and seemed to have got it spot on straight away.
Took you back to what you just said about the energy of the team. Is it now juggling and having to speak to people like Ian and Gav, whether they need to do extra fitness work, or maybe you're doing a bit too much and then they're a bit leggy? Is that,
well,
do you almost have to come down one side of the coin and stick with it?
Yeah, well, there's no normal formula for that, really. You know, we were just discussing today, do we have a kick, battle and bite session? Do we give them a fun and entertainment session? Do we go swimming? Do we go golf? Do we play an 11v11? It's a balancing act a little bit at the moment, because we need to. I've spoke to 5 or 6 players already this morning to get their ideas. Some have come in without being invited, i.e. they've come in to discuss something. So I'm pleased with that, and they're all feeling it. So we've got to do some form of sharp football that gets them back on the bike, because they fell off their bike on Tuesday.
Take you back a bit. When you first walked into Cambridge as assistant manager, 30 years ago, did you ever believe that you'd be going back as a manager in 30 years' time?
It's a long time ago, although funny enough, you remember those times like they were yesterday, because it was a chance for me to get into football and professional football after being a manager at Newmarket, back into professional football, because I was. And an opportunity arose for me and John Beck to take over. John as manager, me as assistant, and it went really, really well. Obviously, we had some good promotions and that, and it was about recruitment at that time, making sure that we had a group of lads that could compete, but also had a lot of ability as well. As it turned out, there was some of them players ended up like Dion Dublin playing in the Championship and the Premiership. So hopefully we can go and give a good account of ourselves, and it can make me feel even better when I go back to Cambridge, because there were some happy times there. And but if we get beat, then I'll come back as sad as can be. But if we win, then at that point I'll remember the atmosphere of that. I don't think the place has changed that much. It's got a new stand at one end, but no, we've got to go there and win this game. That's my only focus at the moment.
And your first win as Cheltenham manager came against Cambridge. That must seem a lifetime ago as well.
Yeah, that must have been at home then?
Yeah, the Tuesday night. Sean Harrod, Matt Sparrow, and Danny Haynes scored.
Yeah, do you know what? That was the time when that was our win, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it looked like maybe we could do something, but I think the cast was pretty set. But we played. The team sort of picked out that day, and only to fade away into oblivion, sort of thing. And I mean, I've been in these situations before. Every time you take over at a club, generally because they're either bottom of the league or all you need is a bit of time to turn it round. What I can say about this group of lads, because I have inherited some bad squads when I've first gone to places that were in trouble, etc. And but this squad, I've got faith in. I've got total faith in them, and I think that given a little bit of luck and a little bit of more experience that they're all getting at the moment, every loss is an experience, every win's an experience. They'll learn from them experiences and want to learn from them experiences. So it's a group, I promise you, that are very disappointed when things don't go well. They don't just go home, forget about it, and don't feel like they're part of the loss. These all feel it, and that gives you a good opportunity to turn it around.
Has it been more arm around the shoulder than chatting in their faces then?
I think it's a little bit of both, James. I think again, I don't act. If I'm angry with one of them, they know I'm angry. If I'm happy, then I'm happy with people. I think that's the important thing. They know you're not acting, but they also know that you're trying to do the best for them. We got to have these footballers enjoying their football and enjoying being competitive and winning football matches. Sometimes that takes a lot of work on the training ground, a lot of work in games, and when they realise they've fallen short of it, at least we realise they've fallen short of the standard they need.
Cheers.